Here we
Oh,
go.
Yay!
Now we can
What's
all hear each other.
I'm so
up?
excited. Okay,
Everybody,
You
welcome.
hear me
By the
good?
way, the mummy has finally came out of the crib.
it's alive!
Peace.
Okay,
It's good.
so as usual,
What's
of
your
course, nothing goes as planned. Technical difficulties made it a little late, but we're really excited to get the interview going with none other than Cayan. I am really excited about this because I've known him for a little while, and he's just dope. So I'm excited to share his dopeness with the world. But before we get into all the goodness, of course, we're going to talk about who we are.
Yeah. For
Why
those
we're
who don't
here.
know, I am Allie Light,
And I am Marquila Henson.
and we are the boss ladies of ATS Mag.
Yes! We like to call ourselves the AM.
Yeah.
Something for your morning time. Anyways, so we're going to do a short interview with DC's own Cayan. Like I said, this is DC Takeover Weekend. For those of you who don't know, ATS Mag was started in Washington, D.C. on Howard University's campus. And so we're going to throw a little throwback, some love over there to D.C. This weekend, we're going to have artists and comedians and like really great stuff for you guys to check out all this weekend from Friday through Sunday. So, are you ready, Cayan? Are you ready to share your goodness with the world?
I'm ready.
Okay, so we're gonna have Allie kick the first question.
Okay.
What's up, Allie?
Okay, so we have the project Cayanaten, right? You want to talk a little bit about background, how that project got started, and what motivated you to change the persona?
Alright, yeah, because it's more like a persona change as opposed to like a name change, like when Akhenaten, I'm in Hotep the Fourth, and that's like obviously where I got the whole idea from, the whole Egyptian time period for the cover, you see that. But he added it onto his name, because it's like, of Aten, of the sun, like, and to me that's just like the most powerful source in the universe, and that's just what that represents.
Yeah.
Just that giving life, just creation, that's what it is. I was in one of my most creative stages, and also, it's an extension of me as opposed to a new me, I ain't changed that much. It's just an extension.
I was gonna say, I don't know if I know Cayanaten. That is
the
so
whole vibe of the project was just supposed to just introduce, just like kind of like a different feel, but still same like some of the same content that I touched on in District Columbia 3, just like different flows, melodies, just building upon everything else that I've been doing.
Okay. It's a very refreshing album. Not sure if you guys have peeped it yet.
Yeah.
You can listen to the full project on SoundCloud. Explain, like, was that something that you noticed in the industry? Like, do you feel like it's like that refreshing element of your music is something that was intentional, or is just the way that it came about?
It was the way that it came about, because it was just a real organic process. Like the producers, Spider and Young Savior, they're brothers actually, and they're both in my Cap Life Camp Capitals. But so it's like they have a feel for like what I sound like what I'm a rap on, what I'm gonna sound good on, and I have a feel for their beats, So it's to the point where I'm just an instrument and I'm right into the beat, but I'm not even noticing that this cadence is going along with this ding, 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 ding in the back, and it's just like it's just blending as opposed to clashing, and that's just what I'm about, just making it sound good. It's more of a musical element, and it was just real organic.
Okay.
I love that.
That's dope.
So go ahead.
No, I was just gonna touch upon like just the people that I listen to are organic like that, like I'm a big Don Kennedy fan,
Okay.
Like,
I get it.
his sound is West Coast, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's his whole sound. That's his whole like how he talks, like how he dresses, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I am in DC at this
Right.
moment.
Okay. I was actually gonna ask you. I was
Yeah.
gonna ask you some questions about DC. Like, what part of your music do you feel is like DC, or what part of your artistry do you think represents where you're from?
See, it's the thing is, it's not it's real subtle, you know. It's like I said, it's organic. So it's like I'm not out here, you know, making songs about Ben's Chili Bowl and stuff like that. But
Right.
Shout out to Ben Stable.
shout out to Ben Ali.
Giving everybody the BGs for a long time.
A long time.
But you know, it's more that organic, you know what I'm saying, like down to like, you know, the lingo that we use, you know, just the little subtle places that we reference, you know what I'm saying. I'm shouting out Congress Heights in one song, you know what I'm saying, just like little things, you know what I'm saying, the way certain ways that I say something, you know what I'm saying. So the way I talk, you know what I'm saying, you'll just hear DC, you know, in the song, but just like subtly, you know. It's just like as a native, you'll definitely peep it, and out of town, it'll just be something new to get used to. You know what I'm saying? Like when you listen to Houston music, you know what I'm saying? They talk different than we do. You know what I'm saying? They say different shit. But that influences other people to the point where you get like people like A$AP Rocky in New York. You know what I'm saying? Doing some of the same shit. So to me, it's really no cultural barriers. So we just have to introduce DC to the forefront, and certain people don't do that, and every way you need like the whole frame sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, that's true because like there's not like a lot of like they're DC artists, but they don't come on the scene like some other people from other cities. Like people be repping, and a lot of artists from DC don't kind of like take it there. They rep, but they don't take it there. So I'm really glad that your music kind of has that strain where it's like you can tell I'm from the and I also love the title of the mixtape.
That's the thing. No, I'm not even talking about you. The whole thing is every artist that will be seen from DC before they got on, they move.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm still in DC. You know, Tabby moved to New York. Trail moved to LA.
Yeah.
Well, overseas, New York, wherever. You know what I'm saying? That's nothing to them. Like honestly, that's just how the city is to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I'm still here trying to make it. So that's why my shit sounds different.
Right, like you still in the struggle.
Gotta make it happen.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. So, if you could be mayor for a day, even though I know DC doesn't have a mayor, do they? Do they have a mayor? They have like.
I want to say they have a mayor.
They have a mayor.
I want to say they have a mayor.
Okay, well the highest.
Oh my God.
The highest ranking individual. If you could be the HNIC.
Of Washington D.C.
Right.
With all like the rights and privileges, like you can make stuff happen and
you
changes
can make decisions for the day.
Like Marion Barry, basically, yeah.
Right, exactly. They do have a mayor.
That's what I told you.
Anyway,
you know what I'm saying, so yeah.
So if you could be mayor for a day, if you could take over D.C. for a day, what would Cayenne do? You know, like how would you change things in the city? You see how she's like, don't be talking smack on the broadcast.
8th Street, they putting new streetcars in that are pointless.
They've been doing it for so long.
Way too much money. They still not up. Taking way too much money. They got 2-3 bus routes that run on that same route that, you know what I'm saying, certain people just don't want to ride on. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's just spent like a lot of things in DC. Like it's a whole bunch of construction. It's a whole bunch of unnecessary money that could be going into other places at the moment. You know what I'm saying? When schools are closing and stuff like that. What else? We just got legalized, you know, for marijuana.
True.
But you can only have up to 2 ounces on you, and I would change it to 4.
That's a lot of weed.
That is a lot, G. Like, what you doing with 4 ounces? What are you doing?
I'm not saying necessarily me, but if you want, you know, 2 ounces isn't that much at the same time.
Okay.
So, yeah, at least 4. Well, so tickets, parking, like they got way too many. Like
Oh yeah.
DC make like billions of dollars in traffic tickets. You know what I'm saying? Speeding tickets, and they just spend on that. Like it's crazy, and it's just for that to be like a source of revenue. Like why you trying to get us like this? You know,
Right.
it just any sense. It hurts. You know, it hurts. Mary Bowser, pay attention, man.
Exactly.
Like don't do this in my pockets. I was just trying to go to the grocery store real quick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
They be
come on.
taxing.
Yeah, so those are the main condos, you know what I'm saying, taking up neighborhood parking, you know what I'm saying, taking away homes. They about to shut down, they're about to try to move everybody out of Berry Farms. I don't know if you're
Right.
familiar
Ooh,
with
ooh, we not go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're trying
very
to
fond
forcibly
of a touchy subject.
yeah.
But I
So
mean, it's like, you know what? Like, I noticed that, like, because they've been on the streetcars since I was in Howard. Like, and I've been gone from DC for 2 years. So
yeah,
if they still
Tesla.
haven't finished the streetcars, like, wrap it up. It's
What's
time
going
to
on?
give it
Yeah,
up.
what's
Huh?
going on? They trying to do too much at one time, honestly. Every corner you go, every block downtown, the street shut down because of like they're fixing the street, they're putting a new building up, and it's just like y'all just trying like it's unnecessary, you know. It's beautification, you know, beautification and gentrification, which is not necessarily needed at the moment. You know what I'm saying?
You know, and it's
It's
so
like
crazy because it's like no matter where you go, like especially in the U.S., like most major cities are dealing with gentrification, where it's like they're trying to add value to the city, but in adding monetary value, they're taking away that tradition and taking away the value that people bring and the
mm,
value that the history of the city has.
culture, yeah.
Right. So I mean that's something that I could.
Chocolate City.
What'd you say?
DC used to be called Chocolate City.
I know.
We were talking about that the other day, and I was like, cause coming from being a DC native and then coming out here,
Right.
I tell people all
Yeah.
the time, I'm never going back to DC,
Right.
and it's because it's a different type of black
Nope.
experience than what it used to be.
They
Like
finally
you said.
uh,
No, I was just saying, like you said, you know, it used to be called Chocolate City. It's not that Chocolate City anymore. And that's why I like Chicago better, at least in my opinion.
What's so crazy
Yeah.
is that like I came from DC to Chicago to find a girl that came from DC to Chicago, right? So it's like God just blessed me to meet somebody who understood like the cultural things that intrigued me about both areas.
Yeah.
And so it's like I love the fact that even though DC and Chicago, they're way different as far as size is, there's a lot of similar things happening in the city. Gentrification.
Especially with culture.
Right. Oop. Cayan, you still there? There we go.
Hey, all right. Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of things happening in the city that are similar. Like there's lots of gentrification. You have a lot of like neighborhoods being torn down to build up like shopping malls and like, commerce and stuff that has to do with capitalism. And so I think that there's like a similar struggle. The school system is a little rocky, in both states and in both places, cities. So I'm glad that we were able to have a conversation about like the status of DC
Yeah.
from a DC artist, from somebody that's in the struggle and in it, like people say here. In it. I'm with
difficulty.
Stay with us. And I hope you're enjoying this really great interview. It's been really good so far. We got about 10 more minutes. So
Yeah. Meantime, in between time, if you guys want, feel free to send us any questions that you may have for Cayanaten or for us as it relates to this exclusive interview. So just hit us up. You can follow us at ATS Mag on Twitter, Instagram. Go to facebook.com/ATS Mag, or you could just stay on the homepage at www.atsmag.com.
Exactly.
And
all the things you need there.
Yeah, and we'll be right back. Is that sound? Yay!
I should have did that the first time. All right, let's get it.
It was so funny, like when you when you left, we just gave people the option to send us questions. So let's see if we get some questions. I'm gonna put that on our Twitter too.
Okay, bet. Because what had happened now, somebody tried to blow my line up. I was like, nah.
Oh, no, they can't call in the middle of the interview.
Cayan, not you.
I told everybody about this interview. They should be like,
That's because they was excited. They're like, "Oh, bro, I see you on the website."
Right. Well, go to the website. Let's hit them up. Let's hit them up.
I love it.
But welcome back.
Yay. But yeah, let's see if we get questions on our Twitter. We're gonna post it on our Twitter. We let people know that if they were watching and they wanted to ask you some questions, they could send us the questions on our social media. But before we had our little technical difficulty, the question that I was asking to you, or what Ali asked, was
which tracks were your favorite to make on Cayanaten and why?
Yes.
ooh, shit. Eurosize, like shit, because Eurosize is a lot of people's favorite one, and I heard that joint. You know what I'm saying? I work in a retail. I heard the joint like as like the music that we play, the sample. It's sampler. And I actually found the joint, Shazammed it, and sent it to my producer. That's like one of the only joints that I sent him a sample for. And he sent it back to me after I like already forgot about like doing it and all that shit. And I was just like that, and it was just like instant because I got the sample, like the song that night, the beat, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Had the joint done like 20 minutes later, and I was like excited this shit to record it. You know what I'm saying? I was a geek, all that. You know what I'm saying? So that was definitely fun. What else? Static. Rain, sleet, hail, snow. Cause that joint like kind of like a little ballad on the low.
Right.
But,
I was about to say it's
on the low.
it's song.
Rain, sleet, hail, snow.
Yeah. Don't be surprised like if you see like a R&B like EP coming out for me like end of the year, like on some real shit.
I like that. You know what? You're the second artist that we've interviewed that switched up and went from being like the rapper and the lyricist, and then all of a sudden he threw us a nice little sing-songy, and then what's so crazy is I was a part of a R&B group, and I was just like, okay, I see you evolving as an artist.
You just got like it comes a time, you know what I'm saying, especially if you like done a lot of stages like in terms of like rapping and shit. Then you gotta try to do something else. And I've always, you know what I'm saying, I always sung before I start rapping anyway. But like the difference is, like when I'm rapping, you know what I'm saying, I got a different mindset, you know what I'm saying. I love keeping like one takes and like just the mistakes in there, because like at the same time I'm a Cuddy fan. So I like all like random like human fluctuations in the voice as opposed to like trying to make it perfect. But yeah, that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's with you, you know what I'm saying? You feel it, you know what I'm saying? Like, as opposed to like hearing a perfect note, you know what I'm saying? You might hear like, you know what I'm saying, me just like stagger right here, but just like feel it like even more. And it was just like, damn. But like when I get on that R&B channel, it's like I'm gonna actually take my time, like do different, like do more than one take and shit. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's super dope. And you know, like I think like that's really cool because it just shows that you as an artist are evolving. Like you know that you're not stuck doing the same thing, and that you don't feel like obligated to be stuck in a box. Like I think that's really dope, and I think it's a brave thing because I know a lot of artists don't feel comfortable in their artistry enough to just say, hey, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and
especially not DC artists,
right?
Yeah. Because it's hard for them. It's hard for DC artists to transfer, and so they feel like I feel like a lot of artists out of DC, they have this idea that, oh, I have to come out with something that's undeniably dope starting out, but you put so much effort into being undeniably dope when you come out. It's like when it's time to have a follow up, it's like you didn't put all your energy into being undeniably dope, and it's like, now you're burnt out because you were already undeniably dope. So
And when you're saying undeniably dope, it's like from the pinpoint like perspective that you're saying it, it's like they're trying to make what people think is going to be undeniably dope. You know what I'm saying? As
exactly,
opposed
that's even worse.
to, but I do what I feel. You know what I'm saying on the beat. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like they're going out looking for beats from people that they like. You know what I'm saying? They heard some dude's song and heard the producer, and it's like, I'm about to go mess with that producer because
Right.
I like that sound. Well, guess what? I got two of my own producers, so they gonna send me shit that sound like me. You feel me? And like it's just a whole different process just because of like little shit just like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Like they at first like when I first started working with Young Savior, like he used to like name his beats like Rick Ross type beat, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
Drake type beat, and then now it says Cayan type beat, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's
Okay.
what
I
that's
love
where we
that.
got with it. Yeah.
Right. That's beautiful.
Okay. So how do you develop a team like that? Because that's something I feel like you got to drop some gems for the
Right. Like,
youngsters
how did
about.
you meet? How did you
Yeah,
meet
how do
these
you go about
amazing
facilitating those types of
producers?
relationships in the industry?
Man, first off, because a lot of people try to make those relationships with nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? You gotta at least get some type of music out there so people can see what you're working with. You know, like have relationships with people because it's like these dudes like my bro. You know what I'm saying? Like they just can't be like my bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it has to be like that for people to get to know you, people to get to know just like your whole or y'all have to be like music is fucking spiritual.
Right.
So yeah, it can't just be off no what's good, bro. Let's work real quick. You know what I'm saying? And you just don't really mess with that person in general. You know what I'm saying? I don't make songs with people that I don't either know personally or just really respect their craft. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I don't do features just to do features. And Cayanaten that had no features because I was just out to prove a point, and it was just called Cayanaten. I can't have a self-titled joint with features all over the place. But
Right.
and those was like 5 minute songs, you know what I'm saying? Bridges, hooks, you know what I'm saying? Just structure, you know what I'm saying? But just all me, you know what I'm saying? So and now this summer I'm gonna get to branch out and work with other artists and different people. But yeah, it's just, you just have to just develop relationships. As soon as they like send me beats, you know what I'm saying? I send them right back like that night, the next day, you know what I'm saying? Because I make songs really quickly. I don't take time with it. I don't force anything. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I don't make songs when I don't want to. I don't force anything. It's all organic. I let it flow now. So I get the beat. You know what I'm saying? I send it back like that day. The next day, they like it so much that it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people who send me beats. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of the best songs that they've heard on their beat. So it's like, why wouldn't you like want to work with me?
Right.
Like
So
off
what
the
you
off.
get is gotta work. Like before you
Bust it.
expect somebody to just send you before you expect to have a team, you better be out here working, and you better
Yeah, you
have
got
the
like I used to do a whole bunch of shows in the city, you know what I'm saying? Just being in places, meeting people, you know what I'm saying? Like I knew a lot of the right people like early, so it was just like they introduced me to a lot of people. But yeah, you just a team is honestly a big part of your success. It's a big part. And yeah, we trying to work on that. Like Spider and Young Savior, they artists too. So they're gonna drop projects this summer, like and they got heat, you know what I'm saying? They got heat. Um I'm about to get a singer, a female singer, start her on the like we're just trying to branch out and
I love
just
it. So and the team is called Cap Life, right?
yeah,
Cap Cap Life. Woo.
life. All the
Cat life. All right. I get it. I
Yeah.
dig it.
I mean, you know what?
I'm
And
not it's real.
yeah. And it's real, like, you know what, like work is, like you said, like it's all about work, it's all about your team, and it's all about building like that strong team. I'm with it. Okay.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
got a couple
definitely.
more questions.
And
Got a
then we're
couple
gonna get
more
out,
questions
we're gonna
before we
get out,
wrap it up.
yeah. So what is something that you get inspiration from? Like where do you go when you need to like When you write your songs, what do you do? Like, do you get inspiration from what's around you, or like, where do you pull your inspiration from?
I like being outside. Um, but you know what? I got a random ass I'm just a random ass character, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like the way my brain works, I don't need too much outside influence, you know, like having a conversation with me one day, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna jump from the Great Wall of China to, you know what I'm saying, taking baths with your baby. Like it's just gonna be so smooth, you know what I'm saying? And that's just like the transition of my music, you know what I'm saying? So like I don't you'll have it's like a rap like Dipset, and you could tell that they wrote like based around their punchlines. You know what I'm saying? Like they write the punchlines first and then everything go along with it. You listen to my shit, you know what I'm saying? And it starts off like it might not even necessarily be a story, but it reads like one. You know,
Yeah.
it goes point to point to point, flow into this, transition this. And it's just honestly you can tell that it's fluid thoughts. So that's just I just start with one idea that just randomly comes to me, and then just it just goes. It's really not too much outside inspiration sometimes. You know what I'm saying? That most inspiration is the beat. I think
Yeah.
that's I'm a visual person. So when I hear certain beats, certain music, you know what I'm saying, I convert audio to visual. You know what I'm saying? And I had an idea earlier today where I feel like this summer I'm about to start branching off into like paintings of, you know what I'm saying, based off of each song. You know what I'm saying? I want to do a paint for each
I
song.
love that. I love
So you
that
can see what I hear, you know what I'm saying? But like that's just basically how it is. I see what it is that I want to do. I see the melody that I'm about to sing, you know what I'm saying? I do it.
I love that.
Okay, DC Renaissance.
I
It's
love
not
that.
natural for a lot of people, but I mean I feel like music is natural for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like, your personality is just, like, you're so chill. Like, you be cooling at all times. You be here. And so, I can tell, like, in your music, like, your personality, your passion for things, you can tell, like, you just be cooling. And yet the song be smooth. So I love that, like, you don't have to go do too much extra. Like, I know some rappers, they're like, I gotta eat this food, or I gotta smoke this one, or I gotta drink this. And you just like, no, I just need the beat.
Right.
Like,
I gotta be outside and just some music.
Right.
That's it.
that's all I need. That's
I
all I
don't,
need.
I don't have to smoke to record. Like, believe it or not, I don't have to, but it's just a luxury that's
Yeah.
usually afforded to me. But
A luxury according to you.
I cannot. I cannot. Okay.
But, yeah.
Well, last but not least, this is something that we asked all of the people that we interview, from businesses to performing artists to whatever. The man on the moon.
Yeah.
What makes Cayan against the stream?
Against the Cayenne. Man, I feel like Cayenne is, you know, and that's the perfect way to put it. Cayenne is like I'm not. You can fill in the blank with just Cayenne. You know what I'm saying? Like it's nobody that I'm out here trying to sound like. You know what I'm saying? It's nobody you can really compare me to. Um, but that's just the way I am. You know, Cayenne is not afraid to, you know what I'm saying, make a song that totally contradicts himself, you know what I'm saying, or have, you know, that whole early Tupac mindset from going to like all the way left stream conscious, like how Sounds of Clarity was, to like, you know what I'm saying, making songs like Static, you know, and shit like on this album, you know. And there was certain songs I didn't even put on the album 'cause I was just like, oh damn, they're like people really not even gonna expect this from me. But but you know what I'm saying, it's just a little bit at a time, you know, it's just a little bit at a time. Like but it's just organicness. I feel like that's just the whole theme of it, organicness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. Cayenne is, and we is too. I like
Hey,
that.
all right. So, just tell everybody how they can reach you on social media, how they can go about listening to your music,
How
and
they
stay
can
tuned for
support
more.
you and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, support me, Cayenne. First of all, when you search Cayenne, you know what I'm saying, just know I'm not no destination, you know what I'm saying? But you can reach me at Twitter, twitter.com/Cayenne, I know it's smooth, right? /Cayenne from Cayenne of Cap Life, audiomac.com/Cayenne, soundcloud.com/Cayenne of the capital is a dash between each of those words after the slash. Instagram me, Cayanaten. Snapchat me, Cayanaten. And if you don't know how to spell Cayanaten right now, or you ain't check out the tape, it's Cayanaten. Yeah, Cayanaten. So
Yes.
We're going to do it one more time for you people.
Cayanaten.
Exactly.
Yes. Please go check out Cayanaten on SoundCloud and Audio Mac to get more from Cayenne as the mummy returns.
The mummy is alive.
Yes, he's alive.
Much love to Chicago.
And we will be, of course, posting this on our YouTube. We're going to give you guys the opportunity to send us whatever questions you have, and we'll send them to Cayenne, and we'll give you the answers. You'll, of course, be able to get
this again.
What's that?
We
What?
can do this again.
Yeah!
Most definitely.
First of all, let's shout out to Cayenne for breaking our broadcast virginity.
Yay! It's our first time broadcast.
Hey!
Also, shout out to Jade the Ivy. For this artwork, this beautiful artwork of Le Strug.
You can't really see it, but it's like a play off of the American flag, and it has the image of the bodies that were laid in the boats.
Slave ships.
So, like, this is a really cool backdrop for this amazing conversation that we've had. Thank you so much, Cayenne, for letting us take over your life for 2 hours.
And thank you, DC, for letting us take over the website.
And like we were saying earlier, definitely check out more from DC for the remainder of the weekend. Tomorrow we're gonna have some great stuff from a good old comedian that we had on the website when we first began.
Yeah.
Like literally like back in like 2011, y'all. Mm-hmm. And then we have a really great artist for you guys to check out, Mr. A.B. Art. So we got some good stuff.
We also have the hump that posted earlier this week. It's the DC Takeover hump. If you haven't checked that out, it's posted in the Within Your Heart section. So it's all stuff related to how awesome DC is, and also more information about the Harriet Tubman $20 bill.
Yeah. So lots on DC. Of course, more about the wonderful, sexy, because Cayenne look good, y'all. So cute. Oh, it's such a cutie. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Look at this jaw, though. Check out that jaw, y'all.
Y'all ain't got teeth like this. Y'all ain't got the juice. Y'all ain't got the juice.
You ain't got the juice. You ain't got the juice. But we do, and it's all on HBSMag.com. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Peace.